Today, I'm going to share 5 powerful ways to deepen your self-care practices with tomorrow's new moon in Cancer. So we have coming up on Monday, the new moon. It will be in Cancer. Cancer is the sign of self-care, needs, nurturing and nourishment. And how we take care of ourselves. So it's a perfect time to be thinking about what we need, how we need to take care of ourselves, and how we can do that more effectively so that we can be re-energized, rejuvenate, deeper healing, and recharging our batteries so that we're more effective, more powerful, more creative, more able to respond to the stresses and challenges in our lives. I'm Marina Ormes here with your Astro vibe for Sunday, July 16th, and tomorrow is the new moon. So taking a look really quick at what is this new moon all about? What are the energies? What is special? What is unique about this particular new moon? And then I will be sharing with you 5 specific ways to deepen your self-care practices. And in fact, I want to invite you, some of you have been watching me for quite a while, and we had a gratitude challenge back when during the Taurus moon cycle earlier this year. And so this particular moon cycle, I'm going to invite you to a self-care challenge with me. And as we go through this self-care challenge, with these 5 ideas that I'm giving you today, you've got plenty to work on in terms of looking at some of your daily practices and attitudes and habits and routines that and ways you can step those up to take care of yourself more powerfully and more effectively. Again, so that you can be recharged, rejuvenated, and ready to go in terms of responding to the situations around you and overcoming stresses, challenges, and worries to step into more creative mode, right? Less survival mode and more thriving mode. All right, so to take a peek first at the energies of this new moon. So again, if you're following me, you know that each new moon is in a particular sign. So we're working with the moon cycle in terms of supporting ourselves, in terms of supporting our deeper healing process, our manifestation process, stepping into more fully into our highest potential through working consciously with these natural cycles of energy that unfold, whether we're paying attention to them or not. And so when we pay attention to them, we can be in alignment in ways that can help boost our intentions and the things that we're trying to achieve for ourselves, right, in our healing practices. So each new moon has a particular sign. It has a particular sort of energetic signature. And with each new moon, we want to be thinking about a reset point, starting over, like a new opportunity, which is, again, one of the most beautiful things about how astrology serves our healing process is that it reminds us that things continually change and we continually have this opportunity to start over, to reset, to get clear about what's important to us and come back to center, and then put things in motion from the positive intentions and attitudes that we want to manifest more fully. So with each new moon, we have this opportunity to reset, to plant our seeds. Perfect time to set intentions for the upcoming moon cycle and really for anything that we want to create, because we can use the energy of this moon cycle to support our, discovering new ways forward, inviting energies that are supportive into our lives. And so each moon cycle then has a particular quality, a particular characteristic to it that we can use to focus our intentions in ways that align with these energies. So this particular moon cycle that is beginning tomorrow, so we're also at the end of a moon cycle, right? We're at the end of the cycle that began with the June 17th new moon in Gemini. So we've been focusing on ideas, language, communication, our thinking, and how we can shift our thinking to be more in alignment with the thinking that gets us the results we want, to find the words, to share our voice, to share and communicate the truth, our truth, and what we need to speak up about and say to other people. So that is the moon cycle we're completing. And then with tomorrow's new moon, and today, you know, this video is for July 16th. So today the moon is in Cancer. I talked yesterday too about the Cancer moon as the moon went into Cancer. So it continues in Cancer. And then tomorrow begins the next moon cycle that is going to have this quality of Cancer energy. And Cancer is a water sign. It is about how we heal on the energetic level. So the way that we need to support ourselves emotionally, the way that we need to attend to our needs, to think about what do we need to feel okay? What do we need to take care of ourselves so that we can feel that like we can rest and regenerate and return to that feeling of being okay sometimes, right? So sometimes we get thrown off center and we need to return to center. And you know, one of the ways you can do that is taking care of yourself by having a nice meal, or sitting on the couch and watching a movie, or having a cup of tea, something that is comforting, something that just is about taking care of you and not for any other purpose, right? And when we do that, when we attend to our deeper needs, we do give ourselves a chance to reset, to come back to center, to remember who we are, and to feel the feelings so that they have somewhere to go and they're not, you know, driving the bus every day. So when we give attention to feelings, we can let them move and go where they need to go, be felt, so that they don't have to be there bothering us all the time in terms of causing stress, causing worry, making us feel frightened or anxious. So, you know, and these are some of the tools that we have that we can work with on our own. So, so working with this Cancer energy of caring, of nurturing, of comfort and safety, it's asking yourself, how can you create comfort and safety for yourself? And what does that look like? What do you need? You know, and so let's get to it. Let's get to the 5 ways, 5 powerful ways that you can deepen your self-care practices with the new moon in Cancer. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say about this particular new moon is that not only is it in Cancer, right, which is about comfort and needs and attending to our emotional process, but it's also it's highlighting the energy of Pluto. So this particular new moon is opposing Pluto. Pluto is in the final degree of Capricorn. I've actually been talking quite a bit about what that final degree of Capricorn looks like, what it means. I've got some videos if you want to check them out in the 2023 playlist to give you more of a bigger picture understanding of what's going on with Capricorn spending so many weeks this year in that final degree of Capricorn, what that looks like, what it means for us, and how we're shifting, how we're transforming, how we are integrating and letting go and having a reckoning with what still needs to be completed or come to terms with. So lots going on with Pluto in Capricorn. We are completing a many years time period with Pluto in Capricorn. And as Pluto has shifted already into early Aquarius, gone back into Capricorn, is now hanging out there in that last degree of Capricorn. It's going to continue in Capricorn for the rest of this year, going eventually direct and then back into Aquarius in January of 2024. So in other words, this energy of Pluto that shines a light on our power, our path of empowerment, our path of truth, of inner truth, of needing to find that place of self-trust where we can speak from our truth, where we can show up in the world in a way that says, you know, this is important to me, and I'm going to show up in the world in a way that helps to make it happen. In other words, not letting ourselves be victims of whatever is happening in the world, but recognizing what is our responsibility within the context of whatever it is we may not like or we may be worried about. And so making a difference in terms of what's important to you and getting in touch with, connecting with what that really is for you. What is important to you? What brings meaning to your life? What does your soul and your heart and your spirit want, and how can you live your life in a way that is in alignment with creating a positive outcome for the future? You don't have to be perfect, and what you're creating may not be perfect, but you can make a difference. You can absolutely make a difference through the ways that you show up for yourself, for your family, for your community, and for, you know, the people you work with, the people you serve, whatever that looks like for you. So that is coming into this Cancer new moon, and the Pluto final degree of Capricorn opposing this new moon is reminding us that we can make more of a difference in the world. We can share our truth more effectively. We can find our place of empowerment and through the process of self-trust and finding our path of making a difference more effectively when we take care of ourselves. So that is, you know, there's a bigger purpose to this. It's not just about having a night of Netflix and popcorn. It's really about like the power and the importance and the significance of taking care of yourself and asking yourself what you need and caring for yourself at these deeper levels. So maybe bringing in some new routines. And that's what we're going to talk about in just a moment. I'm getting to it, I promise. But there's a purpose, right? There is a deeper purpose and a bigger reason to take care of yourself. Because when your cup is filled, when your batteries are recharged, when you have the opportunity to feel safe, to get grounded, and to connect with that deeper place of what is important to you, and feel that ability to rest and rejuvenate, you're actually, again, you know, letting yourself heal. It's actually when you rest that your cells repair. So you're doing healing work when you're resting, right? Your cells are busy doing their own repair, and your own body's wisdom about how it heals can unfold when you rest, when you take care of yourself, when you get away from stressors and allow yourself to sink into that feeling of safety, even if it's only for a short time. So finding the ways that are true and right for you to do that, checking in with yourself about your needs. And again, this is all about your own self-care practices and how to think about them and support them in the ways that are best for you. So, okay, so we are getting to it. 5 powerful ways to deepen your self-care with the new moon in Cancer. So I'm going to share 5 ways. The first one is add new self-care routines. Now, this is kind of the obvious one that we tend to think about, right? Oh, self-care, okay, you know, I need to make time to go to the gym, or I need to take that evening off just for myself, or have a weekend to go do something fun. It's sort of the obvious one, but thinking in terms of adding new self-care routines for yourself, and some things to think about are what is doable, right? What is realistic for you? What are you able to actually accomplish? So not making it set up for failure for yourself. And as always, so powerful to work with your intention. So, you know, if your intention is to have more exercise, more fun, more feelings of freedom and spaciousness in your life, whatever feels important to you, adding something into your life that helps you have that helps you feel some of those good vibes. And then, you know, what is going to be doable for you? What does that look like for you? What is realistic? But when you set your intentions, what you're doing is you're saying, I don't know for sure what's going to be realistic or doable for me. I'm going to just set this intention, and then I'm going to try something. And then you try it and you see, and you're like, well, okay, you know, that was really good, but I don't know if I can do that every week. So, okay, let's think of something more realistic. Is it maybe something you could do once a month? Or is it something you could do in smaller ways once a week? Or, you know, whatever it is for you. So asking yourself, how can you bring in that routine that adds self-care into your life, and doing it by your intention, right? Maybe you're not setting yourself up for failure because you're not saying it must be this or I'm a failure. You're just saying, this is my intention. This is how I would like it to look and feel. And I'm open to discovering, you know, what I may not know yet about how to bring that into my life. You know, maybe you try to maybe you have a friend, a buddy who's going to go for a walk with you every morning, and then maybe that friend, you know, doesn't show up, and you have to decide, okay, am I going to do this on my own, or what am I going to do? And coming back to that place of, what is it that I need? What is important to me? You know, and maybe it was the social interaction, and therefore maybe there's another way to bring in social interaction in a way that will meet your needs. Or maybe it was actually just the exercise, and maybe it doesn't matter if you have a buddy or not. Maybe you just need to do it, and that will help you feel good. So again, opening your mind to what this might look like, what it might be trying to become that you don't really understand yet, right? So having that openness and that spirit of being willing to learn on the journey. Okay, so adding new self-care routines is number 1. And again, coming from that place of openness, of trying things, of figuring out what's really going to work for you. So it's fine to start with a goal or a commitment, but be flexible within that and allow yourself to find the thing that's really going to work for you. And I guarantee you it will be more doable that way, right? It's when we just have too high expectations for ourselves, and then we're like, I can never do that, forget it, you know, and then we just go back to the old patterns because we don't believe we're capable of it. But actually we are capable of it. We just have to adapt. We have to adjust to what it might actually look like in real life. Okay, so that is number one, adding new self-care routines, being flexible. Number two, and this one can be a little bit harder. It's easier in some ways and harder in others. Okay, so number two is shift your old self-care routines to make them more nourishing. Okay, so in number two, you're not actually adding new routines. You're not actually doing anything different. And if you have a busy life, if you're having trouble imagining how you're going to add something in, this one might be for you. So instead of adding anything, look at what you've already got. What do you already have? Even if you don't think of it as a self-care routine, do you have a few minutes before you go to bed where you read or lie in bed or meditate or think about your day or something that's for you? Maybe it's sitting and enjoying your breakfast or your lunch, right? Or that midday cup of tea or something. What is it that's already part of your day? It's already part of your day. And how can you make that more nourishing for yourself? So one way might be to just think of it as self-care. Maybe you haven't thought of it as self-care before. So just say, okay, this is my moment for self-care. I'm going to turn off the ringer on my phone. I'm going to shut my computer. I'm just going to be here and listen to nature, or whatever it is for you. So that's number two, is instead of bringing in a new self-care routine, just shift any routines you already have to allow them to be more nourishing for yourself. Give yourself that gift of enjoying the moment, of feeling the comfort, experiencing the pleasure, and just, the feeling of taking care of yourself, whatever that looks like for you. All right, so number one was add new self-care routines. Number two is shift old routines to make them more nourishing. And number three is to check your attitude. And so I've been kind of hinting at this, but you want to be thinking too, what are you thinking about your self-care routines? Are you feeling like you're bad because you haven't done X, Y, or Z? Are you thinking that you don't have enough time, so you can't really enjoy it? Just check in with yourself. Ask yourself, what is the attitude I'm having? Is it an attitude that supports me in feeling cared for? Is it an attitude that helps me have my needs met? Is it an attitude that is allowing me to rest, to regenerate, to sink into the feeling of comfort and safety, if only for a few minutes? To let that reset take place. So check your attitude, because a lot of times your attitude, you might have the self-care already there, but if you have a belief or an attitude that it's not self-care, or that you should be worrying about the next thing, then maybe it's not serving you in the same ways that it could. So just kind of a deeper way of looking at how to embrace your thinking and your beliefs, your attitude in the moment, to allow more self-care into what you're already doing. All right. And then number four is remember to ask yourself what you need in the moment. So this is another kind of paying attention, kind of noticing for yourself. If you are experiencing something that brings up a little bit of stress, or you're noticing that you're moving quickly, or you're kind of getting, you're getting lost in something outside of yourself, that is, your to-do list, or what's happening with somebody else in the grocery store or something. So when you notice that, you're getting distracted, or you're being taken away from what really serves you, just ask yourself, what is it that you need in that moment? What are you needing that you're not getting? Are you getting thrown off center? Are you having the experience of escalating worry or emotions or negative thoughts because you're not tuning in with yourself and asking yourself what you need? So just remembering in the moment, you start to feel stressful, or stress, I guess. You start to feel that experience of stress. You start to notice that you're rushing, or that you're worrying, or you're feeling somebody else's feelings, or you're going into an old pattern for yourself. Just take a moment to just ask yourself, what is it that I need to help me not engage with this, to help me step back to what would take care of me? And you can't always do that in the moment. Sometimes you need to do it later, once you get home. Maybe you could journal about the situation, write it out, think it through, or do some practices that help you get into your body. Maybe some exercise, some yoga, some dancing, some singing, some creative work, something that helps you come back to yourself. So asking yourself what you need can help you, tune in with yourself, just to remember, hey, I do have choices here. I can, maybe there's something, maybe you just need to take some space from a person or an energy or something that's happening. Maybe you just need to take some space so you can clear your head, and then you can come back to it with a little bit more clarity. All right, so let's just review what we've got so far. Number one, for 5 powerful ways to deepen your self-care practices. And again, we are setting intentions with tomorrow's new moon. So you're not going to accomplish all of these all at once. You're going to check in with these throughout the month to support yourself in your deepening your self-care practices. Okay, so number 1 was add new self-care routines. So thinking about what you might add or bring in. Number 2 is shift old routines to make them more nourishing. What can bring more nourishment into existing routines that you already have? Number 3, check your attitude. So what are you noticing about how you're thinking and feeling about your routines or your self-care practices or your day, or whatever? Are your attitudes supporting your self-care? Are they creating space where you might remember what you need or check in with yourself? Number 4 is to remember to ask yourself what you need in the moment. So this is a noticing practice of noticing when you're getting off balance, off center, and asking yourself what you need and how you can take care of yourself to get back to something that's more, I guess, more healthy, more centered, more grounded for you. Okay, and then, so number 5, and this is a practice you can bring in that I love, which is take time to reflect at the end of the day, just looking back at what did I do today to take care of myself? What could I have done? What would help me tomorrow? Kind of preparing yourself for the next day to make choices that are more nourishing for yourself. So again, not making yourself bad or wrong, but just a little bit of reflection to observe, to notice, how did it go for me today? Did I take care of myself? Was I paying attention to what I needed? How could I have done that differently? And so some people love journaling, and that it can be just such a great way to write out the feelings and get in touch with, maybe why you made choices in certain ways, of what took care of you, what didn't take care of you, where you paid attention to your needs, where you didn't pay attention to your needs. Again, all neutral. There's no judgment. You're not making yourself bad or wrong. You're just noticing. And this practice of noticing allows you to be present to making choices that serve you better, that are better for your own self-care going forward, right? So you've got the whole month. You don't have to do it all in one day. The whole month is focused on self-care practices, what you're learning, what you're discovering, what you're implementing, and how that leads you to new discoveries and ways of serving your own needs and your own self-care in ways that help you to be more of who you are, more in your truth, more in your power, more able to make a difference in the things that are important to you, not getting distracted or overwhelmed by, whatever is bad or negative in the world, but bringing it back to, okay, what can I do about it? How can I show up in the world in a way that doesn't perpetuate that negative thing? Right? So sometimes we react to what is negative in the world, and through reacting in fear or anxiety, maybe we're perpetuating it. And that's not, again, it's not to make ourselves bad or wrong. It's just to notice maybe there's a different way we could be approaching this, a different way to think about it. And so that's what this is all about. It's about noticing, it's about implementing, trying different things, seeing what works for you, what helps you feel grounded and centered, so that you can be in that space of thriving and being creative and finding creative solutions and new ways forward that break free of old patterns, because they are shifting into these higher possibilities. All right, so let's just review. Tomorrow is the Cancer new moon. It is opposing Pluto in the final degree of Capricorn. Cancer is about self-care. This coming month is an opportunity to focus on the theme of self-care. Ask ourselves, what is nourishing to us? What helps us get our needs met? And how can we do that? And also thinking about why. Why do we want to have our needs met? What purpose does that serve? What does it allow us to do? What does it make possible for us? So a good thing to stay anchored in that bigger picture. Why are you doing this, right? Why is it important? Because it might take a little bit of effort or a little bit of breaking free of old easy habits and patterns. All right, so with that, we've got 5 powerful things to think about as you go through the month. Not all at once, but maybe choosing one each day to think about or focus on, and then kind of cycling them through them. That might be a good way to do it. Or maybe there's one that really stands out for you, and you can take that one and focus on it all month. That could be really powerful too. So I really want to encourage you to choose what resonates for you, where you feel drawn, and then just to bring that into focus for yourself. Okay, so the 5 powerful ways to deepen your self-care, things to think about this month. Number 1, adding new self-care routines. Maybe there's something you can add that you haven't been doing that is time to start or to try, but remembering to be flexible as you learn the best ways to bring that in. Number 2, shifting old routines, things you're already doing, to allow them to be more nourishing for you. So letting them serve you, letting yourself enjoy and deepen into those moments of self-care that you already have. Number 3, checking your attitude. How are you thinking and feeling about your self-care, about your needs, about how you show up for and take care of yourself? It all starts with caring for yourself, right? And then you can be there for others. So checking your attitude and making sure that you are making choices that make you feel good, that are happy for you. Number 4, remember to ask yourself what you need in the moment. So when things show up, when you feel overwhelmed, confused, anxious, whatever, ask yourself, what is it you need? What is that telling you about what you need and how you can take care of yourself? So again, process of noticing. There's no wrong, there's no bad, there's no judgment. It's just noticing, and maybe there's something there for you to discover about yourself. Number 5, take some time to reflect at the end of the day. How did your day go? How did you take care of yourself? How could you bring in more self-care into your daily life? And what does that look like and feel like for you? So how can you, think about it tomorrow? What can you bring in terms of your attitude or your, new things that you are learning about yourself that you can implement? All right. So this is our fun for the month. This is what we're going to be focusing on. Also, Cancer is the energy of emotion and feelings. You might have feelings come up. You might have to take time for those. They're not always convenient, but they are helping you heal. So as we feel those feelings, they are energy moving. They are serving our healing process. So trust yourself, attend to your own needs, and be willing to show up and learn more about what that looks like and what that means for you. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I am Marina Ormes. You can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. I want to thank those of you who have subscribed to this YouTube channel. I so appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, this is a perfect time to subscribe and support my work. I also have a way you can make a contribution if you are feeling called to give a tip, provide some financial support to this work, which is deeply appreciated. I do this as a service, so that is always helpful. And you can see that in the super thanks for this video in the options below the video on YouTube. I'm Marina Ormes. Astrology Heals is the way to learn more about me and how to work with me. I do have room right now to take on new clients. So if you're interested in deepening into this work and how to be supported by the information from your own natal chart, I have times available. So check with me, astrologyheals.com. Thank you so much for being here. And check back every day, Astrology for Unshakable Self-Care. Got lots more self-care to explore as we go through this month. So check back and follow these videos every day to optimize your self-care and stepping into your very own limitless highest potential. All right. See you next time. Bye for now.